Hi, my name is Taiwo Adeoju. I am a specialist coach, and today we'll be talking about a topic which is beyond the diagnosis, building a fulfilling life for children and persons with special needs, especially children with Down syndrome. And let me give you a little background about myself. I run a specialist co and I've had over 15 years of experience working with children and persons with special needs, and I love children. It's important to note that parents go through a lot, and today's training is specifically trying to help children and their parents understand their path in life. Now, we are going to encourage you as a parent, inspire and equip parents of children and persons with special needs to plan their children's future. And so, what are these aspects of their future we want to plan? The first thing is we want to look at career, we want to look at the finance, we want to look at travel, we want to look at marriage, we want to look at talent in our children. It's a lot of efforts are put in place for children, for parents, sorry, to help their children live a fulfilling life. Your efforts matter as a parent, and you are not alone. Now, how do I understand what you go through? I used to have a younger brother who had seizures, and for a very long time, my parents started looking for solutions to help him. At first, we felt it was spiritual, and later, we got to a point where we realized that he could be treated medically. All those period, it was really hard for him to go back to school. It was hard for him to also live a fulfilling life. But we started helping him, and by the grace of God, today he's a graduate. Now, the emotional and physical journey parents go through is both a beautiful one and a challenging one. Emotionally, they often experience a roller coaster of love, joy, guilt, pride, and worry, especially as they navigate their child's growth, milestones, and setback. And we know that parents demand a lot of support, endurance, energy, sleepless nights, constant multitasking, and they have to be available 24/7, especially in the early years of the child. And when a child has special needs, it's like you are giving the parents extra work, like taking care of 10 extra children. Over the time, this can be a toll on the parents, but also you need to build resilience. You need to find a way to help your child in the future. And that is when I'll be introducing to you a vision board for your child. Quite a lot of parents feels like, what is going to happen to my child at the end of the day? What kind of future am I going to build for for my child? What can I do? Caring for them, especially children with unique needs, can be exhausting, can be emotionally draining. And parents are worried. What exactly is the future of this child? And that is where the vision board actually comes into play. As a parent, there are certain areas I'll be doing this training using my system. There are certain areas that are important that you need to start looking into. And those areas I mentioned earlier that we're going to be looking at them. Number one is the career and talent development, marriage, traveling, insurance, and finance and savings for your child. So we are going to pick this point one after the other. Let's just assume that the vision board is like you have a plain sheet of a plain cardboard and you paste it somewhere, and you decide to start taking every aspect that I have talked about that you have to start planning for your child, and you place a picture of what you want in your child in the next maybe 6 months, in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years. So that's what we are planning to do. Some parents think that children can get married. Some even think that, oh, what can this child eventually do? And that is why the vision board is important. We know, yes, you can do early intervention for your child, and a lot of parents have done a lot when it comes to therapy. You've done a lot to support your child one way or the other, but you are probably not seeing results because sometimes you really need to start looking into some of all these things to help your child. So let's look into financial planning first as the first thing on our vision board. We need to start talking about how to save long term for our children's care and opportunities that we can give them. Um, People with special needs are blessed with different abilities. And as a parent, you have to start looking at how can you tailor those abilities to something that can help them to earn a living in life. Aside that, as a parent, you need to start planning for their future too. For children who will need long-term therapy, you need to start doing savings plan for them, and you need to start looking at how you can join organizations group to help your child as a community, because now you can't do it alone. You need to start getting support from other communities or groups like Down Syndrome Foundation groups, or let's say Autism Foundation groups, that can help you plan towards helping the child. Some of the examples I gave was, what if parents come together and they start a particular project that gives a particular amount of money? Let's say you build a hall and you have a particular money coming in every week, every month, and it is geared towards the care of the children in that community or children in that association, like the organization you have. So parents need to start doing savings plan. You have to have insurance policy that can suit the need of your child and can be used for your child for a long time. So savings for your child is important. Now you can also open a trust fund, and specifically for this child future. You can also leverage on grants, government programs to help. I know here you can say in Nigeria we don't have anything like that. My question is this: as parents, what have you done to inform the government on your needs? Because sometimes we say, oh, the government is not supporting. Yes, we know there are a lot of issues in the country, but even at that, what are we telling the government to do for us? What plan are we giving them? Who is moving towards the governor, moving towards the president to tell them this is what we feel our children will need? There was a particular time we don't have people with special needs in the government parastatals working in the government organization, like the ministries. Now we have them employed in, because some people raise the voice. A lot of parents are not doing anything. We are wallowing in our pain. We are just talking to ourselves. We are not doing anything to help the government understand our needs. There are also grants you can leverage on. There are a lot of grants out there you can leverage on. The next one on the plan in the vision board is career and talent development. Now, we cannot keeping our children without having a career path for them. Some children have skills that they are already showing us. Let's make an example. Let's say a child likes taking pictures, a child like cooking. For me, I feel that is a skill to harness. That is a skill we need to start developing. A lot of parents are waiting for the child to go through university, go to school, and get a certificate. As much as we know we are still doing that, what skill are you putting in place for this child to develop? Some children know how to work with their hands. Some of them can draw. Some of them can do music. Some of them can do a lot. As a parent, what exactly are we doing to help our children with some of these talents? Now, the way you package your child, like I keep saying, is the way people are going to take your child. We've had instance of a child who actually loved taking socks together, picking up materials and making socks out of them, and the parent decided to build that skill in that child. So as a parent, it is in our hands to start looking inward and start planning for our child. It can be a 6-month plan, it can be a 1-year plan, it can be a 6-month plan, a 5-year plan, sorry. Now, let's look at this lady, Madeleine Stuart, a model with Down syndrome who worked in major fashion shows. Tim Harris, a restaurant owner with Down syndrome. John Franklin Stevens, a Special Olympic athlete and global speaker. Parent, teachers, and schools need to discover their child's passion early, such as dance, sports, art, and tech. Now, the next one on the agenda for the plan in our vision board for our child is travel and exposure. Some people will say, oh, what is this child going to do abroad? What is this child going to do in other countries, other states? The more you expose them, the better they are equipped with knowledge of how to interact socially. They know how to behave outside. They know what to do at a particular point in time. They are exposed. In fact, a child can decide to pick a skill in traveling and start filming. We have a lot of blogs on YouTube, on social media, talking about traveling. So we can also encourage traveling as a way to expand our child's worlds. Then the next one is insurance and legal protection. Even as parents, sometimes parents are scared of what will happen to their child. Oh, what if the mother is no more? What will happen? There was an instance in Nigeria at a particular time. There's this particular guy in Abuja. I can't remember the particular state. The mother actually trained him to be um someone who can use the social media well, I think on YouTube or so. And the mother died recently. Imagine if she had not given that child any skill. How would the child live? And this is the time for you to start looking at trust fund for your child, looking at the people who you are going to assign this child to as their guardian. Even if you are no more, we have to start giving um, um, the responsibility of this child to someone, such as insurance, guardianship, and legal rights. You can get an advice from a professional in this field who is a lawyer, who can give you an understanding of what to do. Now, we mentioned the innovation board, we mentioned the travel, we mentioned career development, we mentioned financial planning, and I want to talk about marriage. A lot of parents don't know that the children with special needs that they have or with Down syndrome can live a normal life. Just like every other person, they can get married. What you just need to do is to make sure that you are well informed so that the child is not going to have another type of special needs again. We've had regular people who get married to people with Down syndrome. We've had even people with other type of special needs who have who married them and there's no issue. So just like what I was saying earlier, you need to get knowledge, do genetic testing, do some testing that you can do when even when the child is still in the womb. There are a lot of tests you can do. So you need a medical practitioner to put you through some of all those things. So it's important that we as parents we start having plan for our children. Like I said earlier, areas to plan. We have the finance and savings, we have career and talent development, we have travel and exposure, we have insurance and legal support, we have marriage. People with special needs get married, they live a normal life. Now, there's something I want to take you back to. Your child is not the problem to be solved, but a person to be loved and guided. If you have this understanding of this particular quote, you understand that you need to start giving this child a roadmap to what you want this child to become. You are a product, the child is a product of what you have laid down. The child is a product of what you have laid down as a parent. And I keep telling people, plan for this child. Have plans in all this area for these children. There are a lot of work they can do. I want to give examples of some of the job some people with special needs can do, especially in terms of career. Let's go there so that one of them is social media. We have a lot of people doing influencing now, even doing nothing, just taking pictures, snapping, telling us about what happened in their day-to-day life. People with special needs too, Down syndrome also, can also do this as a way of living. We also have people with Down syndrome who can be a model. We can have people with Down syndrome or special needs who can even sell clothes, sell clothing lines, have ideas of how to bake and start baking a lot of things. A lot of parents are scared of what becomes of their child. The fear of the future, the fear of education, what should I do? Independence, relationships, safety. A lot of parents are scared. They are worried about what the society is talking about. But you know, I keep telling parents, how we present our child is how people will take it. I'm an advocate of special needs education, both in Nigeria and internationally. I want children with special needs to live a normal life. I want them to enjoy everything every regular child would enjoy. So it depends on what we as parents are putting together in the face of the people. Sometimes some parents cannot even take their child out. Some parents don't even know how to take care of their children. Some of them, yes, I know it's understandable that you might not know, but you need to seek help. You need to ensure that there are certain things you are doing to help your child live a normal life. Allow people to accept your child. The way you present your child is the same way people will take him or her. If you present your child as a model, people will take your child as a model. It depends on how you package that child. It depends. There's also guilt and self-blame. A lot of parents are still wallowing in guilt. You are still feeling like, oh, I'm the cause of this. I'm a feeling of I'm not enough. I'm not doing the right thing for this child. I didn't notice on time. Please move on. Move on to the next step. Let us find a way to help your child. Shame and social stigma. Some parents hide the child due to community stigma and cultural belief. I believe that if a lot of parents are coming out, we are having organizations, a lot of groups coming out, talking about it, one day people will start accepting us. One day people will start accepting your child and accepting that this is the reality, that every one of us have a gift inside of us. Now, isolation. A lot of parents isolate their children because you are scared. A lot of people don't want to see my child. You start removing your child from social events, from schools. You don't want your child to even be included in school. And sometimes parents are tired. There's this burnout, constant care and therapy demands, financial strain, medical expenses, sleepless nights, and emotional exhaustion. And sometimes it is grief, mourning the imagined normal life the child or family might have, grieving milestones that may never be reached. But also strength and joy and transformation is around the corner. So even as parents, we need to watch our health, because sometimes some of them are scared. Aside being scared, you are already not taking any step because you are still scared that your child may not have improved. Purpose and resilience is also another aspect that you need to start looking for. You need to start thinking of a deeper calling and inner strength for yourself. And as parents, you need support groups. You can't do this alone. You need a lot of support group. You need to join a lot of group. You need to have time to relax. You need to have time to take care of yourself. Go for spa, go for facials, go out with friends, enjoy life, live a normal life. Having a special needs child should not stop you from reaching your own goal as a parent. That should not determine what your life would be like. Now, for jobs for special needs children or adults, one of them is retail and customer care. They can become any of these, maybe a store greeter, inventory stocker, sales associate, shelf organizer, and into the hospitality and food service too. Children and persons with special needs or Down syndrome can also function here, like the kitchen assistant, wait staff, helper, housekeeping, host, just like you have an Airbnb and they can host people there. They can be a receptionist, they can be a bakery assistant. They can also work in the office and technology space too. They can become a data entry clerk, administrative assistant, software tester, graphic designer, typist. They can also function as a creative art and media person, just like an artist, a painter, craft maker, musician, actor, photographer, content creators. I mentioned that before. Media editing assistant. They can also function as a skilled trade and manufacturing person in tailoring, carpentry, wood making, bead making, packaging and labeling assistant, and even in agriculture. A lot of them do well in agriculture, farming, livestock farming, poultry, planting, a lot. And even in the public sector, like the administrative officer, a librarian, or a library assistant, office messenger, entrepreneurship and self-employment, owner of a baking and catering business, fashion and bread work entrepreneur, freelance person. They can do a lot. So it depends on what you present your child to be. Like I keep saying, parents, you need support, you need professionals, you need support. And a lot of parents are also wallowing in the expenses, the financial burden. Parents with special needs should start looking at other sources of income, something that can allow you stay at home, something that can allow you earn in dollars, something that can allow you reach your own potential. You can become an entrepreneur so you can have enough time. But don't forget, always rest. And like we said earlier, some of the points I listed in the vision board I said we can create for our children includes traveling, marriage, career and targets, and also traveling, insurance and finance. So please, as parents, it is important that you go back to the drawing board, sit down with your child, look inward. What skill can I develop in my child? What skill does this child have that I need to work on? Who is the right person to train this child? What steps should I take to help my child improve? There was a particular training I happened to attend, and a parent was saying that his child is going to attend School of Survey. And I'm like, wow, this is a big one. For a parent to have looked at the child, trained the child, and I know they've done a whole lot because I know he's an engineer. He's one of the advocates of Down syndrome in Oyo State. And this engineer said he has already worked on helping his child identify some of his strengths. And I think as parents, we need to start looking inward and helping our child. So I'm going to stop here today. My name is Taiwo Adeoju.